Hi, thanks for watching. So, if you are a business owner or you're self-employed, same thing, right? And you're trying to buy a property right now, or you're even trying to refinance. Let me explain some of the reasons why it is so difficult to do that right now. Number one reason that it is difficult to purchase a house or to even do a refinance right now as a self-employed borrower is because of COVID. Yes, it's COVID. Prior to COVID, it really wasn't that hard. And here was the reasoning. We've had a great economy, everything's been going great. And if you're an owner of a business, by and large, your profits, your cost of goods, all that stuff has been really, really good for the last 3.5, 4 years. And so they were loosening the standards to be able to get a loan. Now, in the midst of COVID, however, who are the most greatly hurt? Typically, business owners. Yes, there are employees that lose their jobs. That's easy for a lender to decide if you're going to get a loan. If you're not working as an employee, you ain't getting a loan. Everybody knows that. Even the employees know that. They know if I'm not working, I can't get a loan, I can't buy a house, I can't refinance. So that totally makes sense. However, business owners are in a different world. We don't have salary jobs. We don't have different things that make it really cut and dry as to what we earn and how we earn it. And in the midst of coronavirus, the government's been throwing money out there through the PPP programs, through the EIDL loans. And so all of these programs have put cash into businesses, but the lenders are leery. They're questioning. They are concerned that business owners aren't making as much as they were. If you own a restaurant, that is certainly the case because in-house dining is pretty much wiped out in the midst of coronavirus. If you own a gym, same thing. If you own some of these companies that have greatly suffered because of coronavirus, you still may be the owner and you still may have income, but if it's coming through other sources and not revenue, then they're going to question it. Now, here's my situation. I own multiple corporations. Okay, so I'm in your boat right now. You and me are in this boat. We are business owners. We are trying to figure out how do we buy or refinance property. I had a stack of papers that was over an inch and a half thick of things that I had to produce in order to do my own personal refinance. And you know what? It took almost 2 months. And I'm in the business. And one of the businesses I own is a mortgage company. Like, I get it. I understand it. So if you are a business owner, keep in mind that right now, coronavirus, COVID-19 has put restrictions upon the lending. Now, the virus itself, COVID-19 itself didn't do that, but lenders who lend money to business owners have added additional documentation requirements that you must produce in order to get the loan. And if you are a business owner who is in the practice of hiding all your income legitimately, right? You expense things and on paper you don't earn a lot of money. You used to be able to turn over your bank statements and they would go back and lenders would highlight, the items that were maybe personal or could be personal, like maybe your car payments and things like that. And they would add that back in and they say, well, we know that you're a business owner and although on paper you didn't make a lot of money, you really had a lot of financial benefit. Therefore, we're going to give you the benefit amount, not the income amount, and you could get your loan. Well, they're not doing that anymore. And those that are starting to reintroduce loans that do that are charging extremely high interest rates. So, and when I say extremely high, I'm not talking historically high. Okay. I'm not talking 17% like they were in 1983, I believe. What I'm talking about is that you can get a loan through bank statement programs, but it's going to cost you anywhere from the high fours to maybe even 6 or 7% on your loan. And if you're in a situation where you need to buy and that's the best loan you can get, by all means, that's what you're going to have to deal with. And maybe just later when coronavirus is more part of our normal society and people aren't freaked out and businesses are able to stay open, maybe At that time, you can refinance out of that higher interest loan, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that that's what the future holds. So if you're a business owner, grin and bear it. Turn over all the documentation. And keep in mind that every time you go through a payroll cycle, every time you hit the end of a month and you have new bank statements, every time you go through a fiscal year or a calendar year tax return, you're going to have to produce new documentation. And that's what drove me crazy. What drove me crazy is that every time I had a payroll, I had to produce new pay stubs, and I have family members, my wife in particular, who works for the company as well. And so that means two pay stubs. And then we went over 1 month, and now I've got company bank statements, and I've got personal bank statements, and I've got payroll stubs. I had all that stuff over and over again. And yes, it was like pulling teeth. And yes, I pulled my hair out, but I'm already bald. So that's all good. So if you're looking to buy a house right now and you are self employed, we would like to talk to you. We can help walk you through that step because it is a difficult situation. You don't want to get into escrow before you recognize the difficulties of buying a home as a self-employed borrower right now. So, and if you're leaving California and you've watched my other videos, you know that people are leaving California. Just heard of another company last night, 50 employees, almost all of them leaving to go to Texas. It's happening. If you are a business owner and you're looking at selling your properties here in California, you're looking at moving out of state, I want to talk to you because we do have national lenders that can work in those states, and we just want to make sure that that process goes great for you and your employees. So give us a call. We're the Bald Brothers, and I'm Aaron Zapata. I'd love to talk to you personally about your process of real estate and where you're at and see how we can help and serve you. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.